that I didn't think would happen, because it's a guy that we've said might be a little bit on the bubble potentially. Trysten Hill was getting a lot of run with the first-team offense.
Right. I think this
defense.
is – yeah.
The defense, excuse me,
I think this is really – Bobby and I do our podcast. We talk about it on 105.3. We went through those names of guys that, do they have one foot in the parking lot? Are they back in good graces? There were a couple of guys that are going to be that way. They were going to look quick today to me at defensive tackle. Trysten Hill was going to look quick. Osa Odighizuwa was going to look quick to me. And then we'll see Monday when we get the pads. The quickness, the explosiveness, does that carry over to being able to win? And, with Trysten, it's never been about him, it's never been about him not being able to make plays. It's just he could never – the buzzword around camp, the availability. Sure. It's like he makes 2 or 3 plays, and all of a sudden it's knee sprain. It's something wrong with the bicep. It's something, there was always something that you had to deal with Trysten, and I would like to see him have a training camp with complete health. And if he gets released, he gets released on his own. It's not going to be, he got screwed or something like that. It's, hey, play it out. If it's good enough, he makes the team. If not, then you move on from that right now.
Sam Williams also, I noticed, getting some run with the 3-tech. And, Bobby, I know you're sitting here. You've got the headset on. If you want to chime in.
How's it going?
Oh, my God. It's Bobby Belt.
The Beeve.
What's going on? I do want to just quickly, on the Hill point, when you mentioned he was getting a lot of run with the first team, I think it's important to remember, they've got to know what they have in him.
Right.
I think
there's
this
no
is
question.
So I wouldn't necessarily read into the first team reps are about, hey, this is his standing with the team. I think it might actually reflect the other direction where it's we got to find out if this guy can do it or not, so put him out there.
No,
they did. They threw him in the deep end of the pool today, and they said, okay, well, let's see how you respond to this. I think you're absolutely right, Bob. When we're going to be talking about a lot of different combinations, and one of them will be, oh, hey, Connor McGovern got first-team guard reps, but there was a switch back and forth between him and Tyler Smith. And so I'm saying, no, wait a minute. Tomorrow, watch. Tyler Smith will be the starter. And I just feel like, though, don't, at least in the first week, focus on where guys are or what they're on the depth chart, but kind of see if they're at that ability to make plays.
And again, especially as we're talking about the offensive line, none of this is with pads on. So it makes it even more tough to really break down.
But you see the athletic ability, the quickness. That's why I felt like Osa and Hill and guys like that would show up, because it's about being an athlete.
Right.
That's where I thought that would be.
And I thought Trysten Hill did look good, but I think that's a great point, Bobby, and they are mixing and matching, and part of that was also Sam Williams, which we didn't see a ton of at OTA at mini camps. He was really rushing from the edge, and he dominated at points, but they kicked him inside, and we're working him at 3 technique as well. Eric, I know that's something you and I were pointing out and thinking, oh, that's interesting. Tyler Smith, I thought, did an excellent job against him, but it just shows you some of the versatility that they're playing around with when it comes to Sam Williams, their second-round pick.
Yeah, and Trayvon Diggs talked about it today with Dan Quinn, just how the exotic nature in which he likes to bring defense to the table, and where he positions guys. When you saw them do the 2-minute offense, where it's like, okay, this is pretty much guaranteed pass play every time. Now this is when you start getting real creative. And what do we see? We see Dan Quinn giving you, here's J-Ron Kurtz, here's Donovan Wilson, here's Malik Hooker, big nickel package all on the field, and then there's Micah Parsons on one edge. You have, maybe it's Sam Williams on the other side, or maybe it's Dante Fowler. There's
Armstrong was involved too.
Armstrong, absolutely. Yeah. You have DeMarcus Lawrence playing, rushing from inside as well. They have some of these packages where you feel like you can really unleash these guys. And there was one play where you had Sam Williams lined up as the 3 technique, and they did the stunt where the end comes into the guard. Sam Williams goes around the edge. And it was
ET stunt. Yeah, twist. Yeah,
there it is. Beautiful. Thank you, Broadus. And it would have been a blow-up play, sack domination, Sam Williams. And just in regards to Tyler Smith real quick, the body difference. Yeah. Even from OTAs to now, this dude has been putting in the work, and you can see it. You double take at a guy like that, because you're like, I know you're over 300 pounds, and you just look lean.
And he's getting better every time we've seen him. I mean, today I thought was another great practice for him.
He's looking like Wolchuk out there post soda for sure.
Oh my God, that's one of the biggest hot topics of the entire day.
I know. It's like,
Wolchuk.
wow, Wolchuk's looking like a stunner. No, it's funny when you mention Sam Williams kicking inside. They played around with DeMarcus Lawrence at 3-tech today. And, we just talked about Trysten Hill a second ago. I think for the first time in a practice or a game or whatever, I saw him line up at a 4-eye. I've never seen, and so, they're putting, Trysten Hill on the edge and some of these 3-down linemen look. So I think they really are just trying to figure out, okay, they've got so many defensive linemen. Defensive line may be their most deep position, and they've got a lot of guys who are really flexible. Watkins can go inside, outside, Golston inside, outside. And so I think right now this is a big part of just let's figure out what all these guys can do and what we want to do moving forward.
Yeah, when Bobby's talking about a 4-eye, that's an inside of the tackle or right there, the lineman, with that inside technique. If you said he was a 5, that would be a head up. So 4 is an inside eye, 5 is a head up guy if you're wondering what that's all about.
Head up on the tackle, right?
Yeah, that was Trysten Hill going against Taran Steele on that rep. And so and then that was that rep where actually Taran Steele ended up on the ground.
Yeah.
Because that's, again, something that, I think Taran Steele, some of the Twitter chatter
I don't think he was terrible today.
I think the Twitter chatter has overblown because they see that's the danger of training camp.
Yeah.
They see 2 highlight clips of Micah Parsons and they go, well, Micah was running Taran Steele all day. It's like during 2-minute drill, Taran Steele beat him more times than not, handled it really well.
It was interesting, yeah.
And it's because he's got the athleticism. He can beat him to the edge, but then as soon as a power player comes in there, he's on the ground.
That's what I'm saying. He can carry you wide, the head-up stuff, and we were talking about that. Lower the head and just take him back, and I hope that people don't figure that out.
But it does look like Taran Steele was working to put on the upper body strength. Doesn't he look bigger?
He's always going to work hard.
He
looks like a
monster. Yeah, he's trying.
He's got the work ethic. That's not anything they'll ever have to question about.
Right. To me, I think that there's a guy that everyone's going to pick on. It's going to be Taran Steele. But I'm just not overly worried about him. I think he's fine. He's going to be able to serve his own.
I hope you're right, because I think that, to me, they're going to figure out the offensive line, the right tackle spot. And I know I got my buddies in Lubbock that right now are listening out there, and they're telling me, Broadus, please don't talk bad about Steele. Please don't talk bad about Steele. And they're being nice about it. I just wish that Terrence Steele was a little bit stronger.
Sure.
Because the work ethic, everything is positive about him. But I do worry when somebody just says, I'm going to lower my head and I'm going to ram it in his chest and I'm going to just push him back there as fast as I can.
Well, don't bring up TJ Vasher to your Lubbock friends. Then you might want to keep that name quiet as well.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Micah Parsons beating anybody, that's much more to do with Micah Parsons, I think, than the person he beats.
Right.
It's
name
just
the best tackle in football. Micah Parsons is going to beat him.
Yeah, I mean the way he
named
undressed.
a few of them that he had to. It was tough.
He did.
The way he undressed Tyron Smith at one point.
But he still was able to beat him.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the kind. We're talking about one of the best players in all of football. So when you're getting beat by that, it's one, only going to make you better, but two, it's not something for the fan base to go, oh my gosh, and get up in arms about.
Day one.
Because the rest of practice, he really was not bad at all.
Yeah,
I thought he had a good day.
Absolutely.
The other guy that last year was also, I thought, if you looked at his body of work throughout the season, but 2 games were, oh my gosh, what in the world happened? But he had a good day today, was Anthony Brown. And earlier you joined the KNC Masterpiece, and you said, bold prediction, you think he's going to lead the team in interceptions, Brian Brown.
Yeah, we talked about this. And, man, I love when we kind of can put out there, like with our podcasts or our shows or whatever we're doing, and you can, and Corey and them, you can ask a question about, well, hey, give me a bold prediction. And I'm bullish on some guys. I'm bullish on some defensive players. I'm bullish on Armstrong. I'm bullish on Anthony Brown. Those types. And, Dak was late throwing the ball outside. And Anthony Brown was in great position. Anthony Brown's got ball skills. Anthony Brown is capable of getting 4 to 6 interceptions this year, which might be 1 or 2 more than what you see from Diggs. But I would not be surprised if he leads the team in interceptions, and I said that as a bold prediction. But when you watch him drive on the football, and again, it's not him getting interception on DiNucci or Greer or Rush. Your first-team quarterback threw a ball late to the outside, and he was in position and made a great play on it.
He jumped that Jalen Tolbert route, and while Anthony Brown had a good day, I think that there wasn't a lot of highlight plays of it. There was a lot of blitzing today, a lot of quick throws Dak was having to get out, and this is just a very light practice. But I thought Jalen Tolbert was really, really great today.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
There was one instance where Dak was not even, the progression was not going that way, so he didn't look his way. but Jalen Tolbert hit this comeback route and like put Anthony Brown on skates, and he completely fell over at the end of 2-minute drill. And I mean, he was really impressive. Made a great contested catch on the sideline.
Worked back to the ball.
Yeah, even routes where it's like he wasn't the target, he wasn't the read, the ball wasn't going his way. He was getting separation. He was beating guys. He was, the defensive backs were having issues with him, whether it was Nashawn Wright or Anthony Brown or whoever. And so Anthony Brown had a good day, but I thought Jalen Tolbert was, for me, the guy that I was like, that guy had probably the strongest all-around practice.
Yeah, super impressive. He stands out, does not come across like a rookie. And physically, get up close to him. He's bigger than I was anticipating. Talk about that guy doesn't skip leg day. Well, Chuck, he does not skip leg day. I think Tolbert's going to be an absolute godsend to this offense, because you know how much they're going to depend on him early on in the season without Michael Gallup, and it's going to be, okay, CeeDee Lamb, and then where's Jalen Tolbert? I think he could be almost security blanket style for Dak as well, where it's like, I need somebody. Where's Jalen Tolbert?
And first practice, we'll see what happens, but I really do think Tolbert is their slot guy. I mean, you could see they like James Washington outside. CeeDee Lamb, I'm sure they'll still get him some work in the slot. They're not just going to say, hey, you're only going to line up outside. But Jalen Tolbert, we heard it in the draft process as well. They liked him working out of the slot, but that's where he lined up today, made that big catch that you're talking about.
Yeah, and CD was still in the slot some today.
Yeah.
Like he had,
they get him on the move.
There were a couple, and I think that's going to be when you hear Robert Prince talk, and I think when you see what this offense is looking for, I don't know that you're going to have like that's your slot kind of guy. I think Gallup, Lamb, Tolbert, I think when those guys are all healthy, I think they're all going to play a lot of, across the board. So I think you'll see some slot work from Tolbert, and then I think you'll see him out there as, he could be running the X, he could be running the Z. I think they want really flexible receivers across the board, and I think they feel like Lamb, Gallup, Tolbert, they can do anything that they need them to.
Yeah, there's no reason to pigeonhole these guys, man, if they all have that ability.
Yeah, why'd you try to do that, Zach?
That's just what I think. I think that you will see Jalen Tolbert utilized in the slot. I'm not going to.
No, absolutely.
I'm not going to back off of that. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
I think that Jalen Tolbert, the majority of his snaps are going to be in the slot.
I totally get that. I hear you. I'm not pushing back on that whatsoever.
Doesn't mean anyone's getting pigeonholed, boys.
Yeah, no. But I do like that Kellen Moore. I mean, you saw a little bit of because you saw it in mini camps and OTAs, but there's a little Zeke, there's a little Pollard. Same time. Yeah. Pollard getting involved in the passing game, playing a little wide receiver. And again, I don't want to get my hopes too high because we see things before, and then you get to the season, and then it kind of it's like it vanishes.
Revert back to
teasing us.
Yeah, and right now you still have to remember that there is no Michael Gallup and things. So it's okay. Are they trying to use Tony Pollard because it's like from a body standpoint we just don't have some of the guys here? I don't know, but it was at least nice to see. Okay, there's Zeke and Pollard on the field together at the same time.
Right, and it made us kind of feel better, I think, about the wide receiver position after today, even though it's just day one.
Well, Washington practicing, I think, helped my mental state, and then also, when you
missed a deep ball though.
Yeah, that was one of those things. Dak's pretty good about that, getting that ball, that being accurate with that ball. But that, the fact that they tried it, I think, is a good thing.
How worried are we about Gallup? I know he's on the pup to start camp.
I'm not
hearing anything.
No, I think
it was great to see Jabril Cox out there.
Yeah.
And Gallup seems like he's also moving around. Okay.
Gallup's moving fine. I think you heard McCarthy didn't want to put a timetable on it, but McCarthy was. They've been very cagey whenever they talk publicly about Gallup. That was as definitively optimistic as McCarthy has been, where he said he hasn't missed a single marker during the rehab process, and he said, I think we're in the fourth quarter here.
Good.
And so I think they feel like he's going to be really close. The thing about Pup is he's on Pup. I know that somebody had asked me on Twitter, like, okay, so how many games is he going to miss now?
It's active Pup, right?
Yeah. So when you're on Pup in training camp, you can come off of that at any time. You can't come on and go off and do that whole thing. But, like, if you're on Pup, they can bring you back. Gallup conceivably, not that this will happen, but Gallup conceivably could come off of it tomorrow in practice. It's when you get put on Pup during the regular season, then you're missing four games.
4 games, right.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. 405, what about Kelvin Joseph? Kelvin Joseph was out there. I saw him getting a one-on-one rep with CeeDee Lamb.
That's who they challenged with James Washington, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Washington had a step.
He beat him.
Yeah.
That was the only time I really noticed him out there. I noticed Tolbert was on him, or he was lined up against Tolbert at one point, but the coverage, he was just kind of guarding the flat, so he's playing a zone.
Zone coverage, yeah.
Yeah, he was. So, I mean, we didn't get to see a ton of Kelvin Joseph today, but the one time I really remember him was James Washington got around him down the field.